Sometimes dreams don't come true, Karen. Cotton Mather wanted to follow in his father's footsteps as president of Harvard. His vision for his term as its president was to return it to its original mission and steer it away from its liberal turn. Oh boy, would he cringe now. And likely do the job better than his father, who was viewed by the family's opponents as inadequate in his duties. The article Declension Comes Home tells us that Mather's concern for the youth and concern for the spiritual decline he witnessed in society are noted in some form in several writings. So a career path as administrator in his Alma Mater College, responsible for shaping and molding the youth into pious ministers of the gospel, a quote from our reading, should be an obvious one for the reader. Also, his disdain at not being given the opportunity to serve in such a role is not surprising either. We see his attitude toward the situation decline sharply after Leverett, the college president, dies, and 3 other men are offered the job instead of Mather. His decline is captured in his written communications, some of which were distributed freely. Gathered from Mather's actions and writings, he was guilty of at least 4 of the 7 sins: pride, wrath, greed, and envy. The list is from the Encyclopedia Britannica. The explosion of emotion and publicized contempt should not be a surprise. The Mathers are highlighted in other works, such as last week's In Retrospect, Robert Middlecoff's The Mathers, as being intellectual, not devoid of emotion, perhaps materialistic, and even secular, and accomplished authors. As for the course of Harvard under Leverett, the Harvard historian has been kind, calling it a house of learning under the spirit of religion, not, as Mathers would have had it, the divinity school of a certain sect. The view that Mather's vision of a school focused on a specific religious sect comes from the family's opponents. Among the antagonists of Mather being named a president is his own father, Increase Mather. After Cotton Mather became frustrated with not being named to the high office at Harvard, a team including Increase, Cotton, and some of their allies founded the school which would become Yale. Those opponents are Anglican, Church of England, and Episcopalian, where the Mather family were Protestants in ideology. Mather and his opponents spent much time and energy debating the differences of their religious beliefs and which were better. Comparing the sects mentioned, at least in cursory research, shows that the Protestant sects, Anglican, Episcopalian, and Protestant, generally share highly similar beliefs. For more on that, I found some charts at a website called Christianity FAQ. It is easy to get lost in the punny frustrations of Mathers and miss the intent of the article, to look at how he would have run the school. We can postulate that he would have followed the pedagogy of Jan Comenius, who de-emphasized rote learning and memorization, while individualized dialogue draws the student to the direction of truth through challenging questions. A second pedagogical model Mather ascribed to is Frank's, which aimed to produce Christian leaders for all spheres of society. Mather would have also likely have applied a broad, worldly view, seeking to make Harvard a transatlantic institution. Thank you.